Hi, geometry students. This is Mrs. Raposa, just to explain just a few of the questions from the 8.1 Google form that was due either on May 21st or May 20th. You may not be able to access the Google form anymore once you've submitted it, though. So the first part was, what's the formula for the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a polygon? So I just illustrated that with a hexagon first. So a hexagon has 6 sides. That means there's 6 angles. I have the measure of angle A, B, C, D, E, and F all shown on the side here. As you can see, if I move point F, that's going to change the measure of angle F, A, and E. So F, A, and E will change if I move this. And oops. Let me just, I'm in the wrong thing here. So let me just move this, and it does change those angle measures, but you notice what doesn't change is the sum of all the angles, because the sum of all these interior angles will always equal the formula n, which is 6 in this case, number of sides, minus 2 times 180. So 4 times 180 is 720 degrees. The only time this formula does not hold true is if this polygon becomes caved in, or a concave polygon. Notice how the measures of the angles do not total n minus 2 times 180 anymore. Changes. So as long as it's not caved in and it's convex, there we go. That formula, n minus 2 times 180, will give us the sum of the interior angles. The same is true of a pentagon. Pentagon has 5 sides, so 5 minus 2 times 180 will equal 540. Again, I can change the measure of one of the angles or a couple of the angles, but notice how the sum doesn't change. The only time it's going to change is if I make it caved in. And now the sum is different. So as long as it's a convex polygon. So I'm going to leave the answer key up here to check your work. So this was the formula where n is the number of sides, the number of vertices, number of angles. And I think the first few are pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through them. I showed you 2 ways to answer question 2. If you have any questions, any ones I'm not going to go through quickly, just ask me, all right? So these are, I showed you 2 different ways to do this. These are pretty easy, and I think that on section 3, this one also, it is a 6-sided figure. So use 6 minus 2 times 180 to get the sum of all the angles measures, which is 720. We just took a look at a hexagon in Geometry Sketchpad, and the sum was 720. So all of these 6 angles have to add up to 720. So you just find the missing angle measurement. I like section 4, do nothing, just breathe. What's different about exterior angles are created when we just extend one side. Like if I extend this side out, I'm going to just extend the side right out. The exterior, I'm not going to make it here because it'll take a little too much time, but every exterior angle on a triangle and the interior angle next to it form a linear pair. These add up to 180 degrees. This angle and the one next to it inside add up to 180. So all of these, it doesn't matter how many sides there are on a polygon, no matter if it has 3 sides, 10 sides, 23 sides, the sum of all these exterior angles are going to add up to 360. There's no formula, it's just 360. So all of these angles have to add up to 360, and you can see where I did the work here. What's the measure of one, that's the key word, one interior angle in a regular decagon? Regular means they're all the same measure, all the angles and all the sides are the same measure. So let's find the sum of all the angle measures in a 10-sided figure, because that's what a decagon is. And then since all 10 angle measures are the same measure, just take that sum and divide it equally by 10, and you get 144 degrees. What's the measure of one exterior angle here? One exterior of a regular octagon. Well, all of these exterior angles are going to be the same measure, and they all add up to 360 no matter how many sides it has. So if you know there's going to be 8 exterior angles, and they total 360, just take 360 and divide it by 8, and you get 45 degrees each. The challenge questions, each exterior angle of a regular polygon has a measure of 9 degrees, exterior angle. So all I have to figure out is 9, how many times gives me a total of 360. So just take 360 and divide it by 9. You get 40 sides. For the second challenge question, I find an easier way to do it, and I did a diagram here. Each interior angle of a regular n-gon with n sides has a measure of 156. Now, the formula n minus 2 times 180, and then we'd have to divide it by how many sides, and that's kind of tricky. I think there's an easier way to do it. Like I said, each interior angle and exterior angle next to it add up to 180. So if this interior angle is 156, then just do 180 minus 156 to get the exterior angle, and just do it like we did the problem above it. So if each interior angle is 156, then each exterior angle is 24 degrees, and since it's regular, then all of these exterior angles are going to be 24 degrees, and they all total 360. So just take 360 and divide it by 24, and you'll get 15 sides. Okay, if you still have any questions, you can contact your teacher through email or chat, or go to a Google Meet and get your questions cleared up. Have a splendid weekend, geometry students.